Okay, Shola here, and this is, this is going to be called Psychographic Ad Review. I was doing something completely related on the website City Lab, and this ad came up to me, which I know is actually a retargeting ad from a marketer that I follow, and I wanted to draw attention to it for the following reasons. So, number one, it's a really good practice anytime your attention is drawn to a creative to definitely um, screen capture it and analyze it because we are exposed to anywhere from, it's been said, 5,000 to 25,000 ads a day. So if you are experienced and the ad is good enough to grab your attention, then you probably ought to pay attention to it. Okay. A second thing, though, is that just in terms of me thinking about a template, I was struck by this ad because this seems to be somebody calling out an audience based on this, like a layering of audience, right? So you have the um, career, okay, or the profession, which is advertiser, all right, and then another level down is Google advertiser, and then you have um, somebody speaking to a want or a need, right? So someone is frustrated, right? So if I go to my tool, you'll see that level one is profession, right? And they've gone probably another level down in profession, right? So advertiser, okay, what kind of advertiser? Google advertiser, right? If they wanted to be even more granular, they maybe could have said like attention Google display advertisers, right? Because they're on display, all right? Or attention Google search advertisers, right? Or attention Google um, YouTube advertisers, what have you, all right? And then the second level down is the psychographics, and I just wanted to point to that, which is unmet needs want. So if you were really, they spoke to the opposite of, it's almost like inversion, right? They spoke to the opposite of what you want. So if you're frustrated, what is the opposite of frustrated? Well, I like to go to the antonym anto- antonym.com, also synonym.com, and I'm going to type in frustrated, and then just because I can't easily think of the opposite of frustrated, so I just use antonym.com, frustrated. All right, I'm going to type that in. My computer's running a little slow. All right, frustrated. Okay. So it says the antonym of frustrated is successful, profitable, I'm fortunate, fruitful, prosperous. Okay. Um, all right. I think there could probably be a little better word than frustrated. Successful or confident. So I know that maybe that would be the opposite of what I would say text. Like attention, like Google advertisers looking for more success. All right. But he spoke to a need, which is frustration, right? So if I go to list of negative emotions, and I'm just gonna type in frustrated, and let's see if something pops up on images. Now, the thing that is so important here is that you'll notice that all of this stuff is going on my head, right? I want to continuously point to the very important skill that is being developed here, which is taking your IP capital. And by recording this, I am turning my IP capital, Thomas Sowell will also call it human capital, into digital assets, my IP assets into digital assets. I could have easily have just been thinking about this, but and I do believe that this is why Gary Vee talks about the demonstrate, don't create system, right? If I were to wait until I was ready to sit down and create some fancy video, all of this really useful this entire process I'm going through, where you saw how step one, I thought about creating a, a Google audience, I mean, audience to call out in an ad based. Well, step one was how I used the process of creating swipe files based on asking myself, okay, which ads are affecting me, right? I simply screenshotted this on my phone and then I uploaded it to Google Drive, right? So right there, you've already seen one process, like how to create a one-click swipe file of ads using Google Docs, right? I could have easily created I can easily like take this small snapshot of this video and change the title, and there you have it, right? Okay, that's the first bit. Okay. The second bit is that I'm showing how I think through the process of coming up with different audiences to test based on psychographics, right? And again, I just saw the word frustrated. I mean, I myself have felt frustrated at times. So I said, hey, if I feel frustrated at times, I guess there are other, this is a odd, the fact that he's called this out in the ad means that like this is probably speaking to a very specific audience. Okay. Then I wanted to know, well, what is the exact opposite of in terms of word languaging of frustrated, and I didn't know off the top of my head. So I simply went to this tool, antonym.com, which you can now use. All right. The third thing I said is, okay, let me pull up a list of emotions and the reason why I wanted to pull up a list of emotions is that I wanted to see what are some other words that kind of give you the same feeling of frustrated, right? So this is an example of different words that are like branching out from frustrated that I might test, right? You might run a split test in the headline and say instead of um, attention frustrated Google advertisers, you might say uh, attention tired Google advertise or wary or tired and wary or attention um, exasperated, all right, or disgusted or confused or angry, all right, or overwhelmed, right? I let me just pull up exactly what I mean. Like I need to put it someplace. Well, I'm just going to type it in. Oh gosh, let me just do like this really quickly. Again, this is a app that I use called Advanced Notepad. It's a Chrome app. You can use that if you want. Just go to the Chrome store. All right. So what I'm gonna do is just it's like emotion, feeling, negative emotion, neg- negative emotion, feeling, plus um demographic targeting. All right. So headline template, right? And the benefit of just thinking through creatives like this is that you begin to see like a template that you could use, right? So and it also gives you things to test, right? So I could easily say the demographic targeting he used was Google, like online advertiser. Well, really several levels down, right? Advertiser, advertiser, online advertiser. All right, Google online advertiser. And I even talked about how you could even, if you wanted to go more 4 levels down, you could say display Google advertiser, right? So I could easily get even more granular and say attention. And this is an example of what I would test attention and what he used with like frustrated Google display advertisers, right? Or attention frustrated YouTube advertiser, right? Attention, okay? Frustrated um, AdWords, their search engine, whatever, marketing advertiser, what have you. Okay, but the whole point though is that I could also, using this list, I would like run the same ad and I would test depressed. I'm sure people feel depressed, all right, miserable, okay, stressed out, right? Um, um, confused. That just that I'm feeling around for that word confused, right? Gosh, where's the document that I just created? Oh dear. All right, so just to go back and say attention, um, disgusted, disgusted. Google advertiser. attention fed up. All right. And then I might even try the opposite, right? Like attention um like Google advertisers looking for success, looking for profit profitability now, right? So I just thought, what was the opposite of that? And I just tweaked that a little bit. So that's a really good example. And what I'm going to do actually is go inside this, and it says unwanted needs. Once I'm actually going to go inside of this and audit it, and it's going to help me to remember that uh, it's a good idea to think about layering, all right, and targeting based on positive and negative emotions, right? This is really, really helpful to me. I want needs. I'm gonna say positive emotion, feeling, right? Negative emotion, feeling, because ultimately, all products are designed to create a functional end result and a emotional end result, right? And this really speaks to, I'm just going to say jobs to be done. Graphic. I'm putting a lot here, but again, I'm just talking this out so you can see this stuff on, you can see this stuff on the screen, all right? Jobs to be done. Okay, look, this is a way, this is a very advanced um, Silicon Valley slash startup world framework use to for product development. And the whole idea, and this is why I pulled it up, someone spelled emotional wrong, is that the products that we are delivering to people should fulfill a functional end result, but also an emotional end result. And this, a lot, oftentimes we leave that out, right? So I just wanted to share that. Summarize step one: make a habit of creating a swipe file, and you can use Google Drive, one click upload to Google Drive, but you could also do Dropbox if you want. I like Google Drive just because I use Gmail, other products, and they integrate seamlessly with each other. So that's the first takeaway here. The second takeaway here is the power of calling out an audience based on particular psychographics. And in this case, the psychographics are like the end result emotion that the emotional state that the person is in. Right? I need to do like this. So positive emotion and negative emotion. The third takeaway is that you can think through. It's helpful um, to think through how to turn any kind of headline you see into a template, right? That you can use over and over again with your testing. I don't know what happened to it must not have saved. I put here positive emotion and negative emotion. Okay, it must not have saved here. Oh, it just says layer 3. All right, I got to do that for each one. All right. Yeah. So yeah, I'm really glad that I came across this ad, and I'm really also happy that I'm sharing this with you because I know that all of us have things whirling around in our head, which is capital, right? And the the way to go from the capital, the human capital in your head, to um, digital capital, okay, or digital assets, is that you must record it, right? Like it doesn't until we can download stuff from one brain to the other, it has to go out of your head into some form that is consumable by somebody else. And what I'm finding after not even like a month of doing this is that if you start developing the habit of talking through what you're thinking about, all right, and sharing it with people, there's just so much insight, okay? And maybe only 20% of this raw dump is going to be you can capture it and put it into some kind of like more, shall we say, polished product. But I can tell you anecdotally, I was listening to a, I'll end with this. I was listening to an interview about Prince, who's no longer with us, and what he would do at Paisley Park, his recording studio. And they said that he had thousands of songs. And so, unfortunately, and I don't know how this works when it comes to who owns the right to those songs, but like he has enough, he has enough content that he's done, songs that he's created for like 10 additional albums just because he was in the process of just recording. Same thing was Carl Lagerfeld. I was watching a a DW, Deutsche World News documentary on him, and he said that he had created like 15,000 designs, okay? And only a small percent of those designs actually made it to the runway. And so by us recording what's going on in our head when it comes to our processes, that's our way of capturing it, okay? And there's no way that you'll be able to tell beforehand what bit of this. Like I could spend the next 1 year trying to come up with this perfect product, but it could be that one small piece of this video or video that I've done yesterday or video I might do tomorrow be what really takes off. Like that's where the 80/20 comes in. Like that one piece of content could take off and it might be more valuable to an audience than every other piece of content that I have produced combined. And so I want to give homage to, in America, we'd say homage to James Clear for really talking about the fact that you got to get stuff out and you have to accept the fact that you can't predict what is going to be the runaway hit. Your job is just to get more of it out there and more eyeballs on it um, as possible. And the third bit is understanding that when you do this as the founder, you are also creating a documentation of your processes that you can go ahead and easily share with your team. And from now on, like instead of me trying to sit down, the next time somebody asks me, like, how do you think through testing headlines or how do you think through the process of finding out what are really good ads, I don't need to sit there and explain this to them. Like I can send it to this video. Okay. So go ahead and drop a comment on this video. Let me know what really stood out to you. And if you want more like this, just let me know. All right. This is Shola. Take care and take action.